If you've been missing good sourdough bread because you're gluten-free, you're going to want to see this. Today I'm making a gluten-free sourdough that actually is delicious and it's easy to make and doesn't leave you wishing for real bread. So I'm really excited about this recipe today. I searched high and low for a good gluten-free sourdough recipe and I think I found one. So many of them were very involved. I need simple or I'm not going to do it. So I will leave a link to the original recipe, but I will leave the full recipe below. I will not be showing you how to make the starter, but I will leave a link to the video that I watched to make my starter. So if you're like me and you have celiac, or if you are just sensitive to gluten, then this recipe is going to blow your mind. It is so good. Even my husband, he was blown away by it, and he eats regular sourdough bread. I mean, I can't even describe it to you. You're going to have to try it. I mean, it's been years since I've really eaten any good gluten-free bread. The ones in the store are they just have so many ingredients and so much of things that I don't want in my food. This is just plain, simple, clean. I think you're going to really enjoy it. All right, let's get started. So we're going to start with the wet ingredients first. And it's very important that you have a scale, because in baking you want exact measurements. Okay, we're going to start with 330 mils of water. This full recipe will be in the description box. So I'm going to change this to mils. Okay, and we're going to go with 330. So close. Then we're going to use some olive oil. I know, I don't usually use oil, but I have like 2 or 3 recipes I make an exception. This is one of them. So 20 grams. Then we're going to use 20 grams of maple syrup. Then we need 20 grams of psyllium husks. You want the whole husk, not just the powder. Then we're going to whisk it all together. And then we'll set this aside. And this will get thicker and gel-like, and this is what gluten-free flour needs, because since there's no gluten, you need something to replace that. So the psyllium husk is what we're going to be using for that. All right, set aside. Now we're going to start with the dry ingredients. I'm using King Arthur gluten-free flour. You want a 1-to-1 flour. You could use whatever brand. I like this one the best. And this has a mixture of different flours. It's got xanthan gum in it. This is all the things you're going to need to make a good loaf of bread. All right, 340 grams of flour. And this is my mixing bowl for my stand mixer. You want between 8 and 12 grams of salt. I personally like more on the 12-gram side, but that's just me. This is going to be one of those things that you're just going to have to do some trial and error. Then you give this a nice little whisk. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. I added my starter. I didn't get to show that to you, but I pre-measured it. We're adding that into the dry. I'm going to show you how to make the starter in another video. And I'm also going to leave a link to the recipe I use, the video I use to make my own starter. And now I'm adding 90 mils of water. We're also going to add in our psyllium husk mixture. Now I like to get this started a little bit, and then we're going to get the dough hooks involved. So we'll let this mix a bit. We're going to have to scrape down the sides. So you want it to be sticky but not wet, and it'll be pulling away from the sides of the bowl. Maybe that's a better angle for you. Okay, I'm just gonna let this go for a couple minutes. So I just have a bowl here. I put a dish towel, I put some flour in here, and that's where I'm gonna put the dough. If you have one of those special baskets, then use that, but I don't. And then I've just floured my surface. Get some flour on your hands and throw your dough out. And then you're just going to want to get it into a dough shape, or a loaf shape, I should say. Kind of tuck in the sides. And then we'll place it in the bowl that I have prepared here. That, and then I just cover it up, and I have a proofing setting in my oven which I will put it in there for about 6 hours, and then depending on time I may just put it in the fridge and bake it tomorrow. I'm hoping to bake it tonight, and if I do I will show you that. But this is going to go into my oven. Otherwise, just put it in a nice warm spot. You can put it in your oven with just the light on. But just remember it's in there, because if you preheat your oven, you're gonna not be happy. All right, I'm gonna put this in the oven on the proofing setting, and then I'll see you in about 6 hours. Oh, hey, hi. Don't tell her that I'm interrupting the video, okay? I just wanted to pop in and remind you guys that if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I'm on a mission to get 40,000 subscribers by my 70th birthday at the end of October. And when that happens, I'm going to have a big giveaway, so it's going to be really exciting. Also, if you're liking this content so far, give it a like, share it with your friends, let's spread the word. Okay, I better get out of here before she finds out. I also thought I'd like to do a little refresher on making my yogurt. So, very simple, Instant Pot, 2 boxes of some soy milk. You want soy milk that's just soybeans and water. So you're going to add 2 of those into the Instant Pot. Trader Joe's has probably the best price. This is the strainer I use once the yogurt is done. It is yogurt when it's done, okay? But I want Greek yogurt, so I put it in the strainer to get the extra moisture out in it. And it also concentrates the protein, so it's higher in protein. So I'm just going to use this liquid here, which is called whey, once it's drained. And I'm just going to use about 1/4 cup of that and put it in with my soy milk. And that's what I'm going to use for my starter for this. Now, if you don't have this, then you can just use a little bit of regular soy yogurt, soy Greek yogurt. All right, then we're just gonna hit yogurt and let it go for 12 hours. You could do 10 hours, I like to do 12. And I just use this kind of a lid. It's got a little hole in it. It's not like the traditional lid that comes with it, which has like the seal around it, because this is not gonna come up to pressure. It's just gonna be very low temperature. So you just let it sit on your counter, and then when it goes off, I drain it into my strainer and let it sit in the fridge for a couple of days. So I'll show you that later. And you can also freeze this if you want. I freeze them in little 1/4 cup mason jars, and you can throw those in the freezer and you always have an extra. So this is after 24 hours. You can see how much liquid has come out. And you can see it's gotten a lot thicker. So by tomorrow night, it will be perfect. And now you can see how much more liquid has come out. And you can see when it starts pulling away from the sides like that, that's 48 hours. I already took a little bit out of here and then I forgot I had to show you guys. All right, that's what it looks like when it's ready. Okay, so we're ready to bake our bread. So I've got my Dutch oven here, and we're gonna put this in the oven, and we're going to preheat the oven with the pot in the oven. 425. You're going to want a piece of parchment paper that is long enough that when you put the loaf in there, you'll be able to use the sides of the parchment paper to lift it out once it's done. All right, so we're going to put our loaf on here. I'm going to put a little flour on there. Take a look at this. Isn't that beautiful? All right, we're going to put this onto the parchment paper. Just like that, right in the center. Now I'm going to do a little bit of a little slice in there, just so it doesn't explode while it's baking. And I'm not good at this, I'm not fancy, so I'm just going to do just a couple right like that. All right, when that Dutch oven is all preheated, we'll put that in the oven. Okay, we pulled this out of the oven. Drop this in. Make sure you have some hanging over a little bit. Then we're going to pop the lid back on. Then we're going to bake this for 40 minutes covered, and then another 40 minutes uncovered. Looking good. Okay, another 40 minutes. Oh, look at that. Now comes the hard part, waiting for it to cool. So it is right now 9 o'clock at night, so I'm going to just let this cool overnight, and then I'm going to slice this up tomorrow. I'll show you what it looks like, and I will have some toast, some avocado toast. All right, let's cut into this. It's got some good give. Oh, look at how beautiful that is. Oh, it's got this nice crusty crust. It came out beautiful. All right, I'm gonna slice this up. I'm gonna make some avocado toast. I'm also gonna make a quick little tofu scramble. I'll take you over to the stove and you can watch me do that. And then breakfast is served. Okay, I've got my pan heating up. Medium heat. I'm just gonna add some onions and bell pepper. My cupboards are pretty bare, so I don't have any greens, which I really love to put into my scrambles, but we'll just let this go for a couple minutes. Then I'm going to add these beautiful tomatoes. My neighbor brought these over. These are so good. I gotta find out where he got those. All right, I'm going to scoot this over, and add my tofu. I've got about 100 grams, a little over, of tofu. Just, you know, do it to your liking, size-wise. And I kind of break it down as it cooks. Ooh, I lost a piece. And then I just go in with some onion powder. I do that. I don't use the black salt like some people do. And if you like that, go ahead and add it, but I'm okay without it. Garlic salt, a little smoked paprika, I've got some turmeric, some pepper, and a little nutritional yeast. And then I like to add a little almond milk or soy milk just to kind of get it going. Mix it all together. Breaking these down into smaller pieces. And I would normally put in some spinach or kale, but I am fresh out. That's always a great addition. All right, I'm just going to turn this down, let it simmer a bit, and then I'm going to prepare my toast. It just popped up over there. I'm super excited. All right, I've got my toast. We're going to add a little avocado on there, and I'm going to add a couple other things too. I know this is at a weird angle, but I've got my avocado. Okay, it's not the most perfect avocado, but it will taste wonderful. We buy our avocados at Aldi's and they're so cheap. They're like, I don't know, 69 cents. So we buy a bunch of them and sometimes we can't eat them fast enough. So there you go. I also like to add a layer of my yogurt. I don't know, I just like it. You don't have to do this. It may seem weird to you. And then I always add a little bit of lettuce to it. And then I've got to top it with these gorgeous tomatoes that my neighbor sent me. Well, didn't send them, he brought them over. And then I love this little peach glaze. I just put a little bit on here. Or you could just leave it plain. You don't have to top it with that, but I just think this glaze gives it a nice little something extra. Look at that. Yummy, yummy. I'm so excited. All right. Let me try the tofu scramble first. Oh my gosh, those tomatoes are so good. We are going to take a bite of this beautiful, look at that. Oh my goodness. I may have sliced it a little too thick, but I'll do my best. But you can, I don't know if you can hear, so crispy. Oops. I can't even tell you, as a person with celiac, I don't eat a lot of bread because the pre-made breads they're terrible. I mean, they taste okay, but they have so much garbage in it. And this is just so clean, so delicious. Absolutely love it. If you have a Trader Joe's, try that peach glaze.
All right, I'm gonna go finish this.
Well, I hope you like this recipe. I hope you give it a try. I think you're gonna really be surprised if you are a person that can't eat gluten. It's really been a game changer. And if I can make it, anybody can make it. As always, the full recipe will be in the description box below. Please check out all the things in my description box, all the resources I offer. Please join my Facebook group, and you can check out my cookbook. I have a couple of guides down there and discount codes. And if you haven't already, please subscribe, give this video a like, share it with your friends. And remember that here on my channel, you're gonna find plant-based recipes that are gluten-free, and they're good for you, they're good for the animals, and they're good for the planet. And what you put on your plate determines your fate. Until next time, thank you.